To Scythianism after the flood, since Noah's Ark had come to rest in the highlands of Ararat between Armenia and Cadiae on the mount called Lubar. The first human settlement following the flood and was made there, and there the prophet Noah planted a vineyard and became the original settler of the site. His children, there is no indication that he had more, had children and children's children down to a fifth generation, 659 years in all, omitting Sem. But I shall list the descendants of the one son in succession. Sem, then, was the father of Arphaxad, Arphaxad of Cana, Cana of Selah. Selah was the father of Eber, the pious and God-fearing. Eber was the father of Peleg, and there was nothing on earth, no sect, no opinion clashing with another one, but only men were spoken of one speech and one language. There were there were only godliness and godliness. The natural law and the natural error of each individual's will, not learned from teaching or writings. There was no Judaism, no Hellenism, no other sect at all, but in a sense there was a faith which is now native to God's present day, the Holy Catholic Church, a faith which was in existence from the beginning and was revealed again later. Anyone who is willing to make an impartial investigation can see, from the very object of it, that the Holy Catholic Church is the beginning of everything. Adam, the man who was formed at the first, was not formed with a body circumcised, but uncircumcised. He was no idolater, and he knew the Father as God, and the Son and Holy Spirit, for he was a prophet. Without circumcision he was no Jew, and since he did not worship carved image of anything else, he was no idolater. For Adam was a prophet, and knew that the Father had said, "Let us make man," to the Son. What was he, then, since he was neither circumcised nor an idolater, except that he exhibited the character of Christianity? And we must take this to be the case of Abel, Seth, Enoch, Methuselah, Noah, and Abel, down to Abraham. Godliness and ungodliness, faith and unbelief, were operative then. A faith which exhibited the image of Christianity, and an unbelief which exhibited the character of ungodliness and transgression, contrary to the natural law, until the time I have just mentioned, in the fifth generation after the flood. Now, when humanity was multiplying from Noah's 3 sons to the succession of children's children, and their children, a total of 72 founding fathers and chieftains, had arisen in the world, and in going and advancing from Mount Lubar and the borders of Armenia, that is, from the land of Ararat, they arrived at the plain of Shinar, where we suppose they chose to settle. Shinar is now in Persia, but anciently it belongs to the Assyrians. Consulting together, there they took counsel with each other to build a tower and a city, because they had immigrated to Asia from the region next to Europe. They were all called Scythians in the parlance of the time. They laid the foundation of the tower and built Babylon, and God was not pleased with their foolish work, for he confounded their languages and divided them 1 to 72 to correspond with the number of the men which were then alive. Thus they have been called Meropes, because of the divided speech. A blast of wind blew the tower over, and so they were divided right and left over the whole earth, but some returning to the place from which they had set out, and some going to the east ahead of them. but others reached Libya. Thus, if anyone wanted to determine the precise facts about these people, he could find, in the case of each country, how each received his allotment. Thus, Misraim was allotted Egypt, Cush Ethiopia, Put Aksumis, Rahman, and Sabteka, and Dedan, also called Judat. This the region bordering on Garama. But on to go on too long in the composition of this preface here, I shall return to the subject and again take up the order in succession.